Hello and welcome, pardon me. I hate to just continuously record, especially it's not even been that long. But I'm just looking around still, like, and I was watching my last video, and I noticed this. It says matches Albion Pally, and I was like, huh? Albion? Oh, oh my God. So of course I'm like, what? Like what? I Google Albion Pally geology. I click the first one. Like, okay, here we go. Oh wait, I notice relationship to British Columbia region and a heated debate. Oh, so I click this right. I'm just like, all right, let's see what's up. Let's see what are they saying? What do they got? Albion. So I search for Albion. Start reading this. Understanding continental Croa. I don't know if let's move on. This paper presents the results of a paleomagnetic study of mid-Cretaceous Albion. Okay, so that's when I was like, okay, it's a time period specifically called Albion. Albion period. It is the youngest or uppermost subdivision of the early Lower Cretaceous epoch series. Its approximate time range is 113 plus or minus 1 million years to 100 plus or minus blah blah blah. Albion is preceded by the Aptian and followed by the Cenomanian. So it is okay, so it's a period. Let's see some important things about it. Okay, France, Germany. I was wondering if there might be some really focused discussion of like the main things going on in the Albion are like the Cordillera and like Australia and also these things more like precisely where we're looking. But of course it's a global event, but I'm a little surprised that the stage was first proposed, named after some river in France, which I guess had some significance for the time period. Defined as the place. Defined as the place where forum species first appears in the stratigraphic column. Single-celled organisms. Okay. Sometimes subdivided in substages. Okay. So, it's interesting that the Albion has something going on in this region, Central Oregon. So then let's go into this a little bit. Western Cordillera. Let's get that down pat. Cordillera.
Cordillera.
Okay, that's easy enough. Cordillera. Okay, pardon me. Western Cordillera of North America has long been recognized as a collage of accreted terrains with a complex history of Paleozoic to Mesozoic subduction, magmatism, accretion, and deformation related to convergent and strip slip relative plate motions. Accurate reconstructions of Cretaceous paleogeography for these terrains are required to understand how the North American continent grew as oceanic crustal fragments accreted to its western margin. While the significance of paleogeographic reconstructions is widely acknowledged, large uncertainties and ongoing debate presently limit our ability to interpret the tectonic architecture and evolution of the Cordillera system. Cordilleran system. Structural studies and syntheses have documented strong transpressive strain and deformation patterns in regional fault zones such as the Coast Shear Zone, West Idaho Shear Zone, which keeps coming up, that are consistent with large-scale dextral translation. I believe they're trying to say it rotated. Rather, like this probably won't even. Let's search for Baja. There's a chance there is not Baja. Oh, there. Okay. They mentioned it. I was thinking it's possible. It's highly probable that over time, just like our expanding Earth, there was a time when plate tectonics papers probably did mention the expanding Earth alternative and gave it some like reference, but it really has, it's not like there's no reference whatsoever to the expanding Earth in any modern geological paper that's not directed towards it, pretty much. Maybe a few outliers, but relatively speaking, no credence is given to the viewpoint. I was thinking the same might be occurring with Baja, BC, so it's nice to see that they reference it. Okay. Although it's all the way down in 6. Let's see what this section is. 3 working models. So it's one of the working models. Okay. Includes that. Okay. Let's go back up to where was it? Here. Okay. The Mitchell Inlier is a surface exposure of Cretaceous sedimentary rocks of the larger Ochoco Basin in the east central Oregon. These rocks have been divided into 2 conformable and interbedded lithologies of Hudspeth Formation, primarily fine-grained turbiditic mudstone and siltstone, and the Gable Creek Formation, primarily fine and coarse-grained sandstone, with some intraformational conglomerate and sedimentary breccias. Both formations contain submarine slopes and fan deposits. The age of the sediments is known from ammonite biostratigraphy, which is basically, here's this ammonite that we have labeled as a species, even though they never existed. And it's really a time in the Earth's expansion process when currents were producing a certain type of interaction that preferentially produce specifically smaller versions of those interactions, I guess, that then manifested as this specific ammonite biostratigraphy that's being represented. Mind you, this is occurring in Australia at the boundary of this ammonite. There's I guess there's just little ammonites coming out this way and getting caught in this current and building up just like material that builds up explosive pressure until it ruptures the crust, and then it ruptures the crust in this region by basically boing, like a pinball machine, boing, like a paddle. I think Nick Zentner referenced that kind of concept in in this episode, I believe this episode, he mentions the concept of like a ping pong or something, pinball machine. I believe pinball machine, which is basically what is occurring here. Bing! And just the paddle goes off. And the paddle is made of a current that moves in another current's forces. So, there's an ammonite even in this. This is talking about, okay, this one is about Australia. So this paper here, stratigraphy, Medora shelf sediments, WA. I'm not sure what WA is. I don't think it's Washington or in any way associated with Washington. It's talking about some region of the Medora shelf sediments where which is in Australia, where there are apparently types of ammonites, I guess, in the sedimentary deposits that are associated with the Albian period, which specifically is associated with these zircons that erupted at 107 million years. So these are all interconnected. So my thought is these sediments here that are of this matching Albion pally, even having an ammonite physically on this paper, strongly supporting that that's an aspect of it going on, are the same ammonites that this is referencing. The age of the sediments is known from the ammonites that Australia, the current from Australia, brought in this sediment from Australia. So it's probably, this is my thoughts, is there's probably a lot of similarities in the materials here, where essentially it's conclusive. Source regions. Detrital, zircon, age population. Really in this range. Source region is almost entirely here. Sedona Delta? Seduna Delta, gnarly nuts. I don't know what to make of that. Those graphs there. These are the ones during the Earth's expansion. These are different time. So, okay, let's keep going. Both formations, which show that the main mudstone member of the Hudspeth Formation is Albion, and the overlying Gable Creek Formation, though lacking good fossil control, is Cenomanian based on its conformable interfingering contact, like it was a current flowing and pushing, like a propagating, like lobes that were fingerish, like pushing as as the current moved, I guess. Interfingering contact. Let's see what we get here. Ooh, nice. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Okay. Maybe we can just get a picture. Let's see. Pardon me. People are like, what? Ew. Would you look at that? Whatever they're pointing to really goes down to Baja, California. Oh. Hey, let me download it. Okay, now I can search it. Baja. Why did it start with one that looked like it was... Oh, this is the paper I was just looking at, I guess. I'm a little confused. I thought I clicked one of these, but I guess it just took me to the paper I was looking at. Okay. Well, there's that. Alright then. Some workers have suggested that I guess I might as well... This one's... I like the dark view. Rocks of the Ochoco Basin are co-relative to similarly aged sedimentary rocks. Southwest Oregon. Dominated by a set of northeast trending folds. Because the currents are flowing like fingers that have like basically divots in the middle where the current's not flowing quite as much and producing like basically a faulting appearance. Folding. Depending on the nature. However, detailed structural and sedimentological analysis has documented an episode of Albian syndepositional folding affecting the oldest part of the Cretaceous section at Tony Butts. Let's see. Nope. It don't mean that it's not connected. It just means they didn't happen to mention a connection. Let's see. I was hoping to find more specifics that I could understand, like this kind of thing. At least a word, like sandstone, siltstone, like that. Like, what am I going to do with that? Like, sure, there's sand and siltstone in Australia, but I don't think that's really compelling enough. Okay, let's see. Albion ammonites. Maybe... Alaska. Let's just keep going. Where do we find in Switzerland? Switzerland. That's the second time I've seen a reference to like Europe. It makes me wonder. So I was talking about how basically supervolcanoes are going off here as the Siberian traps are going off. And then I don't know of anything specific in the 100 million year range, but I was just thinking maybe like the cursed magnetic anomaly. Maybe this region is getting filled, which branches up here and maybe just influences generally this region a lot in a similar time frame to when these super volcanoes are going off and this boundary is breaking, in a way where there is a relationship to that region. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Alaska. Northeast Texas. So I was talking about how essentially this current flowing into Australia from under North America in the past few episodes of this recordings, whatever, that it branches off. I was thinking initially it comes out generally here and just fans out from like a point to like this. Now I realize this region though up here is like mimicking the shape too much of this region, including up through here and more nuances of like here through here through here through here, the distance, in a way where I think that like this boundary generally speaking was like this boundary generally speaking, and then up here, and then that like crust was sitting there, but then it just broke away and new layers filled in. So like this really was flowing to a boundary really of up through here. So when the explosion in this region of this ammonite structure started to put currents up and through here and up through this way, but also like generally this way into the region, as well as down this coastline, like opening this down through here. And then I think also got kind of generally going through here and out into here. And just filling the world with a new radius after this like explosive event. But so then Texas would have been like generally in like these ammonite regions, like the where if Albion ammonites were just sprayed from the underneath of Australia, that were these ammonites that flowed over this way and then literally just like deposited in mass here in maybe a different like size, different type, maybe a little variation, that then like their sizes maybe shrink going this way. I don't know. I'm just suggesting some possible like subtleties of what's going on that are literally based on the energy low and not actually really ever like truly living ammonites in the way we have historically interpreted them to be. Like shallograms, I don't even think shallograms could have been, because sometimes they're physically merged like two fossils as one. So even like it doesn't really make sense that even like in some time dilation experience where like time is slowed down so that the rate of heat absorption is slowed down, so that like even though it's hot in our perception, it's actually the like environment that's conducive for its survival in its perception. So like maybe that didn't exist because it just didn't exist because the shallograms are like merged as one. Like that wouldn't have happened even in like our experience, basically. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe actually there are fish with two heads kind of thing. Alright, so maybe. I'm open to it because that would be cool. And would like for that to be, honestly, if anything. But, like, generally speaking, it's putting currents of ammonites probably in this direction, so the Texas kind of makes sense. Specifically in this region. Imprecisely dated. Let's just see what's up. Where they're dating it. Oh, they're just taking it dating. I guess they're saying it's Albion. North Australia. A late Albion. South India, which also this ammonite would be sending. I was talking about this, how it generally would potentially, in the last one, put a current generally towards this direction because the ammonite is here. So it's as there's a orbit of energy, it's pushing outward as it goes around. So there's like forces away from this. So that at some point it would have had some of the current of the emitted ammonites from it to physically go, maybe to be found in India. That's plausible. Where is this one? From Texas again. Iran. Pakistan. It's almost like it's channeling these ammonites throughout the world and distributing them of certain types. Because essentially, this I know it's ridiculous in some ways to hear, but it's true. This is basically a particle that radioactively decayed over and over and over and over and over and over and over to become a new stable nucleus that supported an overlying crust that this particle generally was supporting, but because it radioactively decayed, it no longer was able to. So what it ended up supporting is what is now Australia. But in the process, it decayed and sequentially through different phases where literally it decayed like the Albion phase of like this portion, maybe just that then entered the undercurrents and were distributed in like directions outward that maybe got distributed pretty well. Just some thoughts. Like there's essentially it was a particle of what then gave birth to many of that particle fractally, which was like Albion particles. And then it transformed like a radioactive decay to a new stable nucleus where it literally was like lead to gold, like different atom, and it's emitted particles as it was decaying were a different type of ammonite that were distributed at a different time and are used for stratigraphy and dating. In a way where they're reliable. Some in Peru. Like these locations are not that random. They're pretty related to the region in question. Certainly some places they need to go through, like, pretty far, like Pakistan. Pakistan and Iran were maybe the most odd so far. Ecuador, that's pretty good. Egypt, that's reasonable enough in terms of if it flowed out through here and generally up through here and up this way and through here and end up here maybe in through here and up this way some, although maybe it's more across this way as like an undercurrent that went under India, under Pakistan, Iran, Egypt. So maybe something of that nature. Alaska, Alaska, Alaska. Mexico, Pakistan. Benguela Basin. Angola. Where is that? South Atlantic. Maybe that's in the region where it broke through down this way. Because essentially Antarctica was connected up this way. And as they broke apart, it like opened. But their connection point was generally still connected until that broke too, leaving behind like how they're still connected energetically is this explosive energy that propagated through and broke the bond and leaves behind this subtle bond. So maybe in this region, let's see, let's keep going. Let's see where we find this. I guess leading into Africa. I'm not sure if that's what that is. Now this map over here is not even the same place again. What the? Darn. Images. Okay, okay. Not completely anomalous. A little odd of a location, if I'm even finding it right. Not sure. I was thinking maybe here, actually. Yeah. I searched for Angola. And it literally... Okay, I was gonna say, if it brings me to a city. So maybe it's here. In this region, there's Ammonites of that time frame. Okay, northeast Iran. Maybe that one actually ties back to the flow from India, Iran, Egypt, down there, maybe? I don't know if that makes sense. It probably doesn't, but I'm just throwing that out there, just why not? Chihuahua. Let's find some images. Is that it? Okay. Like a map. New Mexico. Okay. I would like to. This war, like. There's gotta be. There's gotta be. Google Scholar. Australia. Maybe even Medora, Australia. Cordillera. I'm gonna get it sooner or later. Albion. San-Omanian. Let's start there. Creation and dispersion of Southeast Sundaland. Antarctic dispersal routes from wandering continents and the origin of Australia's non-passiform avifauna. Creation. Okay, this one seems maybe pretty good. Geological evolution. This is a book. Let's see if we can even text search this. It's a big book. Geological evolution of Southeast Asia. Baja. No mention of Baja. Okay. Horde. No mention of that whatsoever. Australia. Must show up pretty regularly. It is Southeast Asia. 70. Let's go to 70. Oh. Okay. Creation and dispersion of Southeast Sundaland growing. Okay, let's get some pictures. Oh my god. Sundaland. Okay. I'll just Google it real quick. It's pretty much the region that broke away. Yeah, but not this region. Yep. And yep. Okay. La 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 la. Okay. Sundal. Close the book. Southeast Sundaland. Yeah, okay. Proceedings of joint convention. Something. What do we got here? Location of the area is mentioned. Accreted. Interesting. That is pretty much valid though to how I see it, so that's good. much luck in that search. Okay. Albion. Let's say, maybe just Baja. Uh, no, I'm not. Let me make sure I spelled that right. Medora shelf. Let's say sediment. Let's say sediment. Sediments, Oregon, specifically. That's gonna be hard to find. Download. Sure. This paper. Let's just say Australia. Nope. I guess this doesn't have the whole thing either. Depositional models that resulted from studies in the two widely separated areas, stratigraphic and sedimentological analysis of Albion strata in the area situated between these two regions is therefore critical to understanding regional interrelationships among complex environmental transitions produced during the Kiowa Skull Creek cycle and earliest part of the Greenhorn depositional cycle. Okay. That's probably good for now. I gotta do some more looking into stuff. I just thought I'd bring those details to attention, and here we are. Alright. Till next time. Thanks.